Attempts to travel through time are almost as old as arcane magic itself. Records from the Age of Dragons suggest that primitive chronomancy was first discovered accidentally, in an attempt to improve divination spells that revealed information from past events. This quickly blossomed into an entire field of magic revolving around the dilation of time. Dilation, however, has forever been the limit of most chronomancy. To actually jump forward or backward in time more than a few seconds has largely been impossible. There is also some debate about whether those lesser time travel spells are truly travel at all, or if the caster merely perceives a series of false experiences that resemble time travel, but are actually nothing more than advanced divination, revealing a what-if series of events. Like many other schools of magic, chronomancy is one fraught with danger at its fringes. The safe limits of chronomancy have often been discovered the hard way, at the expense of those mages brave or foolish enough to push the boundaries. It is a common joke in wizarding circles that for every evoker who blows up a neighborhood trying to improve upon the classic fireball spell, 2 chronomancers go missing trying to stop them. Records also indicate that the danger of chronomancy was an influential factor, although certainly not the only factor, in the decision by dragons to prohibit lesser species from performing advanced arcane magic, and the prohibition of Remisec. Evidence suggests that there exists a dimension of time, possibly accessible to humankind, which acts as a plane-like manifestation of the world projected across all of time simultaneously. Many chronomancers eventually come to the conclusion that in order to accomplish time travel, as opposed to dilation or false experience events, one must necessarily find a way to travel through this dimension. Like any other dimension, the theorized dimension of time is an immaterial world or projection, rather than a plane of existence into which one can physically travel. As such, it's reasonable to assume that only one's consciousness and sympathetic energies are able to travel through the dimensions, thereby enabling one to peek forward or backward. And indeed, this is believed to be the basic principle behind most divination spells. But prohibiting actual time travel in any meaningful sense of the word. This has, of course, not stopped wizards from trying. Most time travel attempts seek to use the dimension of time as nothing more than a transportation channel, temporarily dematerializing the physical body long enough to pass through the dimension to the desired location, which is, in fact, both a where and a when. It is crucial, according to these plans, to never manifest one's physical body within the dimension, as doing so could be just as dangerous as sending a physical body into the dimension of dreams. A number of different methods have been attempted, most of which begin by divorcing the soul from the body, then enabling the soul to, in theory, possess or create a new body to inhabit upon arrival. A number of well-respected and esteemed scholars have concluded this plan is theoretically sound. Most of its principles are already employed by oneiromancers, traveling through the dimension of dreams on a regular basis. Nonetheless, there have been no known successful time travel attempts in recorded history. There are, however, books containing specific examples of chronomancers who met a brutal end while attempting to project their physical bodies into or through the dimension of time. Madison Rembrandt attempted to travel backward in time. She disappeared briefly, then reappeared as an amalgamation of gray flesh, covered in eyes and teeth. The amalgamation was lethally hostile for 2 minutes, then died suddenly. Amanda Anahira attempted to travel back in time. Her head exploded, revealing gray goo in her cranium. Inga Acantha attempted to travel forward in time. Disappeared for 1 hour, the anticipated amount of time, then reappeared in the same position, dead. A biopsy revealed no anomalies or apparent cause of death. Vaka Swaran attempted to travel backward in time, disappeared and never reappeared. Odilo Taurus attempted to travel forward in time. Head exploded, revealing gray goo in his cranium. His fingers elongated unnaturally over about 5 minutes post-cranial explosion. Ramesh Maha attempted to travel forward in time, disappeared and never reappeared. Gunny Mercedes attempted to travel forward in time, disappeared for 1 year, the anticipated amount of time. Then reappeared in the same position, seemingly fine, but either unable or unwilling to speak, write, or communicate in any way. He left his lab and never returned, seemed to live an otherwise normal life apart from never speaking or writing another word again, and died some 40 years later of old age. Esta Vipul attempted to travel backward in time, disappeared momentarily, then reappeared twice, about 22 seconds apart. The first arrival appeared normal until the second arrival, at which point they both simultaneously underwent nearly identical physical transformations, developing elongated arms, fingers, and neck, gray skin and eyes, sharpened claws and teeth, and prehensile hair. They both began screaming in agony, grew hostile, and were slain by fellow researchers.